Assalamualaikum to everyone and to Prof. Mazurina. In this video, our group will present a discussion on an article regarding cloud computing. Firstly, I would like to introduce our presenters. We have Nadia Hazira, Nur Shafiqah, Nur Hazwani Azurin, Nurul Ifah, and Mina Suha. To discuss on cloud computing issues, our group chose an article titled A New Paradigm for Accounting Through Cloud Computing by Attila Dimitriou and Marian Matei. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, including servers, storage, databases, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence over the Internet of Cloud. There are several types of cloud computing as not all clouds are the same and not one type of cloud computing is right for everyone. Some of the types are public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Public clouds are owned and operated by third-party cloud services, which deliver their computing resources like servers and storage over the Internet, while private cloud refers to cloud computing resources used exclusively by a single business or organization, and it can be physically located on the company's on-site data center. Hybrid clouds combine public and private clouds bound together by technology that allows data and applications to be shared between them. It gives the business greater flexibility, more deployment options, and help optimize existing infrastructure, security, and compliance. There are also quite a few types of cloud services such as IaaS, Infrastructure as a Service, PaaS, Platform as a Service, Serverless Computing, and SaaS, Software as a Service. These are sometimes called the cloud computing stack because they build on top of one another. IaaS, Infrastructure as a Service, the most basic category of cloud computing services. With IaaS, you rent IT infrastructure, servers, and virtual machines, VMS, storage networks, operating systems from a cloud provider on a pay-as-you-go basis. While PaaS, Platform as a Service refers to cloud computing services that supply an on-demand environment for developing, testing, delivering, and managing software applications. PaaS is designed to make it easier for developers to quickly create web or mobile apps without worrying about setting up or managing the underlying infrastructure of servers, storage, network, and databases needed for their development. And serverless computing, it overlapping with PaaS, serverless computing focuses on building app functionality without spending time continually managing the servers and infrastructure required to do so. The cloud provider handles the setup, capacity planning, and server management for you. Serverless architectures are highly scalable and event-driven, only using resources when a specific function or trigger occurs. And for SaaS, Software as a Service, is a method for delivering software applications over the Internet, on demand, and typically on a subscription basis. With SaaS, cloud providers host and manage the software application and underlying infrastructure and handle any maintenance like software upgrades and security patching. Users connect to the application over the Internet, usually with a web browser on their phone, tablet, or PC. It is important for a business to know what they are and how they are different to make it easier to accomplish the business goal. We are probably using cloud computing right now, even if we do not realize it. If we use an online service to send email, edit documents, watch movies or TV, listen to music, play games, or store pictures and other files, it is likely that cloud computing is making it all possible behind the scenes. The first cloud computing services are barely a decade old, but already a variety of organizations from tiny startups to global corporations, government agencies to nonprofits are embracing the technology for all sorts of reasons. However, this technology has several impacts on the accounting profession. Thus, this article provided further discuss on the issues. Based on the article, it described the implications of cloud computing in the accounting field, where the study introduces the concepts of cloud accounting through different definitions and opinions, especially those from the IT domain. Also, the benefits and possible risks determined by the adoption of their services in the accounting area, and the implications that come along with the adoption of cloud accounting solutions, both technical and financial. To discuss on the issue, the article mentioned what is cloud computing. It refers to business performed over the internet without the use of computer hardware or software license, which allow users to store data and use application through different devices located in several locations. The writers also mentioned that cloud computing led to the emergence of cloud accounting. The writers further explained on what is cloud accounting. It is also can be called online accounting. Cloud accounting provides accounting services by means of cloud computing solutions, where the use of the accounting service without the necessity to install any software or make investments in computer infrastructure. Plus, the article stated that cloud accounting is capable to eliminate the need to hire an accountant or bookkeeper. Not only that, the study also brings up several other points such as preconditions that would challenge accounting profession and influence of cloud computing on future accountants, companies, and accounting department. The preconditions mentioned are increasing complexity of the business environment, enhanced competition at a global level, and reduction of the business cycles. Further explanation regarding the article will be discussed by other presenters. So I pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Ifa binti Arif, and now I will be presenting about the background of cloud computing. So we will look into the emergence of cloud computing from the early stage to the present year. As you can see here, this is the timeline of development of cloud computing. Next, we will move on to the history of cloud computing. Cloud computing started to the emergence from the early 1960s, where the computer scientist, which is John McCarthy, has come up with a concept of time sharing, and this has enabling the organization to simultaneously use an expensive mainframe. By having this concept, the computing is described as a significant contribution to the development of the internet, and it acts as a pioneer of cloud computing. The second stage is in the year 1969, when JCR Licklider has introduced the idea of intergalactic computer network, or known as galactic network, and he is responsible for enabling the development of Advanced Research Project Agency Network, or known as ARPANET. And JCR Licklider vision was for everyone on the globe to be interconnected and being able to access program and data at any site from anywhere. The third stage was in the year of 1917. By using the virtualization software like VMware, it has become possible to run more than one operating system simultaneously in an isolated environment. Besides, it was possible to run a completely different computer, or known as virtual machine, inside a different operating system. The fourth stage is in the year of 1997, where Prof. Ramnan Chelapa has defined the term cloud computing in Dallas in his talk about the computing paradigm, where the boundaries of computing will be determined by economic rationale rather than technical limits alone. In stage 5, which occurred in the year of 1999, the arrival of Salesforce.com in 1999 has pioneered the concept of delivering enterprise application via a simple website, and the service firm covered the way for both specialist and mainstream software firm to deliver the application over the internet. Next is stage 6. In 2006, Amazon has expanded its cloud service. The first cloud service was its Elastic Compute Cloud, or known as EC2, which allowed people to access computers and run their own application on all of the cloud. And then Amazon brought the second cloud service, which is the Simple Storage Service, or known as S3, and this has introduced the concept of pay-as-you-go model to both user and the industry as a whole, and it has basically become the standard practice now. Lastly is the present year. Cloud computing usage has increased over the time. Nowadays, people use cloud computing in their everyday life, such as banking, email, and Google Drive. Now, we will take a look at the factor influencing the adaptation of cloud computing from three aspects, which is technology, organization, and environment. First factor is from technological context. Technological context refer to the technologies that are relevant to the organization. One of the major drivers of cloud computing is perceived benefit. It is measured as the anticipation benefit of technological innovation, and the benefit of cloud computing include customization, ease of data analysis, and reduction of deployment time. Besides, by adopting cloud computing, it is believed to increase the business communication speed, improve efficiency in inter-organization coordination, create a better customer communication, and enhance the access to the information. Apart from that, it also leads to strategic links between the organization and information. With cloud computing, the installation and the maintenance of the information system are no longer under the responsibility of the organization, as they are now being managed by the cloud computing vendor, thereby reducing the IT-related costs to the organization. Secondly is from the organizational context. Organizational context refer to an organization size, scope, and the amount of select resources available internally or other internal aspect of the organization. In this aspect, we will look into the top management support, where it is important for a business to receive support from the top management because they will need an approval of a sufficient resources such as financial investment and labor for them to adopt to the cloud computing. And the top management must understand the benefit of the innovation and how it can help them by creating the competitiveness advantage in the industry. Lastly, business that has a high IT readiness is assumed to be more successful than the company that have a low IT readiness in adopting to the new changes such as cloud computing. Lastly, we will move on to the environmental context. Environmental context refer to the external environment where the organization operates. The environmental factors can be either the constraint or the enablers for the business to adopt cloud computing. So we will look onto the external factor, which is the external pressure. External pressure refer to the pressure that is faced by organization from their competitors within the industry. Organization that has this pressure tend to adopt the new technology as they want to maintain their position. And this is because they wanted to gain the competitive advantage and the business quality. And thus, an organization that feels the pressure will try to improve their best in any possible way and adopt to the new innovation such as cloud computing.
So let's look into the examples of cloud computing software. So first, Xero is one of the widely known cloud-based accounting software in the market, which is also highly acquired and implemented by millions of businesses worldwide. Xero is aimed at small business, but it still has key features such as asset management, invoicing, and multi-currency support. Second, one of the most popular cloud computing software is Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 also has an accounting software specifically for business and accountant, which is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. So this cloud-based software makes it easy for accountants to do the job well, as they would have quick access to the company's financials. Adding new accounts to the general ledger is easy, and new general expenses can be entered into the system via direct integration with Excel. Perhaps most importantly, using an ERP like Dynamics 365 Business Central allows accounting professionals to properly analyze the organization's accounts to check for consistency and potential errors. Third, the third example is MyOp. MyOp is one of the accounting software commonly used in companies, and is also one of the software that accounting students should be familiar with. MyOp stands for Mind Your Own Business. This cloud accounting system offers a few different layers of software, from simple tools for very small businesses through to a more advanced for companies that are looking for a comprehensive end-to-end solution. Lastly, QuickBooks Online is one of the best accounting software for small businesses. Not only does the majority of not only do the majority of small business accounting professionals use QuickBooks Online, but there are also endless online training resources and forums to get support when needed. This software is cloud-based and can be accessed through a web browser or through a mobile app.
Next, we will address the challenges accounting profession faces in cloud computing. While the cloud has many advantages, it also has some drawbacks. The most common concern when discussing potential flaws is related to security and protection of the client's financial data from unauthorized access, theft of information, or computer hacking. When dealing with security issues, there are a few things to keep in mind. Generally, the security level of the service is scaled depending on the customer's demands. Furthermore, the external cloud service provider (CSP) may have the necessary expertise to provide an even higher level of security than what the client company would normally purchase for their internal PC, making the system more reliable and secure. Putting sensitive client financial data in the cloud, in the opinion of accountants, is a major headache in terms of data privacy and security, because cloud computing by definition relies on an internet connection. Most people believe it makes it easier for hackers to break into the network and steal data. Migrating workloads to a shared infrastructure, according to the Open Cloud Manifesto, it increases the risk of unauthorized access and exposure. In addition, the requirements of ISO 27011 must be met because it is the international standard for data security. Cloud service provider must follow particular security standards if they want to prove they are trustworthy. This way, their business will expand and they will avoid the risk of a bad reputation. The next challenges is the loss of control over clients' financial data is another problem for accounting profession for companies that become too dependent on the cloud provider, especially if the service quality and availability is not fully guaranteed by contract. Forensic accountants are frustrated by the lack of access to forensic data in cloud computing. In the context of an investigation, the investigator obtains user access log-on reports as well as time and date stamps. Date stamps reports and other system log reports that show what happened and who was involved. Each event had a unique identifier as well as the application systems that were involved. In the cloud, however, the investigator's access to relevant log files will be limited. According to a study, the intangibility of digital evidence poses a number of problems for investigators due to the fact that there are a messy and slippery form of evidence forensic accountants use. It is extremely difficult to deal with. This problem is worsened in the cloud because there is no persistent storage, which means that in most cases, all volatile data will be lost if the system crashes. The virtual machine is restarted or turned off. The lack of access to forensic data, relevant log files, and metadata in the context of forensic accounting. The ability to conduct a digital investigation is greatly hampered by data at all levels. Last but not least is the interruption of the internet connection that can also affect the customer that is forced to suspend his activity. However, such risks are not obstacle impossible to overcome and might actually challenge cloud providers to improve the quality and features of their services.
As we all know, the accounting industry has welcomed technologies and innovations such as cloud computing that makes the life of accounting professionals easier. Large accounting companies like KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Ernst & Young, and Deloitte have presented their own cloud offer. Initially, when you think about cloud computing, of course you want to know whether or not this kind of technology brings opportunities to the accounting profession. How exactly do they help professional accountants? So based on the article, it states that cloud computing is revolutionizing the way accountants operate and manage financial data. First, using cloud computing means that costs are reduced, primarily because there is no need for upfront capital expenditure for in-house IT equipment or software license. Expenses IT staff to install or upgrade Application to maintain server are also not needed. Software application and storage space can be rented and the service is paid for through a monthly fee. By paying as you go, companies can optimize costs by turning fixed costs into variable costs. Such an advantage is beneficial for small businesses that usually operate on a tight budget and cannot afford to purchase and install software and hardware systems that might not correctly respond to the business need. This opens job opportunities for accountants as there will be an increase of small businesses using cloud computing, making accounting easier and accessible. There is also no upgrade fees because the service is continuous. Secondly, cloud computing offers geographically unlimited access through remote network access through a web connection. Users worldwide can access and update their financial information from any location at any time without having to install any other software on the device. This means that financial data is stored into one database, allowing everyone to easily access similar information. Accountants working from different sections don't have to waste time figuring out which spreadsheet is suitable, ensuring consistency across all financial processes and reports. It also helps accountants to generate real-time financial reports while allowing them to concentrate on analyzing data and ensuring insights on financial aspects. Next, cloud computing means unlimited data storage, processing capacity, and automatic backup for the customer's data. In a traditional accounting system, accountants have to deal with paper and manual data entry, which leads to ineffective and slow processes. With cloud accounting, accountants can significantly reduce reliance on paperwork because they can email invoices to clients, eliminating printing and postage costs, accelerating the payment process. With financial statement reports and other financial data stored in the cloud, accountants don't need to keep the original paperwork, saving storage and filing space costs. Incoming receipts and bills can be scanned and saved with the associated transaction in the accounting software. Next, the automation feature in the cloud accounting system fasten routine tasks, giving accountants more time to concentrate on other functions, which increases productivity. Besides eliminating human error, automation of key processes prevents data duplication, saving time and effort. So with cloud accounting, data is automatically saved and backup as you go. So accounting professionals don't have to waste time wasting data or doing data backups. Since software updates and backups are no longer necessary on a cloud platform, accountants are always logged on into the latest software with all the updated features. Cloud accounting also increases performance through enhanced business agility and flexibility, as a high-speed internet connection and the use of mobile technology enables fast data transfer and real-time interaction. Next, accessibility and enhanced collaboration. Since cloud computing allows accountants and stakeholders like team members and management to access information online, it makes it easy to delegate workload. It also shares financial information with the clients in real time, improving communication and collaboration. Cloud computing software lessens accountants' work, enabling them to offer more services to their clients. It also gives accountants an opportunity to maintain good relationship with customers since it allows them to collaborate with clients across any device virtually. Accountants working with the vendors, distributors and other colleagues can easily find any bills invoice or identify if a payment was missed. This helps accountants to ensure that all records are up to date. Lastly, customer data can easily be compromised. This is why accountants should be careful of the threat associated with the software, hardware, and communication channels. Accountants' cybersecurity is a great concern because they handle sensitive client and company data vulnerable to cyber attacks. With cloud computing, confidential information can be stored into the cloud where data security and privacy are assured while scheduled upgrade can easily guarantee it. Storing financial data in clouds also protects it from natural disasters because it automatically backup for easy retrieval in case of a disaster. This way, accountants can hide all accounting data from prying eyes by using security safeguards like firewall, data encryption, and multi-factor authentication.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syafiqah binti Salami. So I will proceed to explain all the possible suggestions to solve the issues in cloud computing. So based on the previous slide, we can tell that even cloud computing has given a lot of opportunities to accounting professions, but the existence of the challenges in using these emerging technologies should be acknowledged and should be noticed by taking these issues into the consideration in order to make a possible solutions to protect all the data in cloud as safe as possible. The first appropriate suggestion to solve the issues in cloud computing is by improving the level of cloud security. So first of all, we should know that cloud computing is concerned about the security issues which have been highlighted in its confidentiality, its availability, and its integrity. So confidentiality is defined as an isolation of data, which has been designed to avoid information from unauthorized or immoral people. Meanwhile, integrity is defined as the correctness of data, and availability is defined as the data that can be accessible on time. Example to improve the level of cloud security is by having a certification and encryption. So, cloud data encryption can be used to prevent unauthorized access to data. Even if that data is being stolen, they could not access to that information. After all, encryption is the best option for securing the data in transit. Next, by having a strong authentication. Strong authentication is a mandatory requirement for any cloud deployment. Users' authentication is the primary basis to access control. In the cloud environment, authentication and access control are more important than ever since the cloud and all of its data are accessible to anyone over the internet. Other than that, to have a secure cloud protection, antivirus software on every device would also work, as it is one of the most widely used tools for detecting and stopping malicious and unwanted files. Moreover, by having a firewalls at every point will help to increase the cloud security, since the purpose of firewall itself is to block malicious traffic to prevent unauthorized access of the private network. Lastly, to ensure the level of cloud security is ensured, there should be a safe internet skills awareness programs for users, especially to the users in the accounting field. The next suggestion to solve the cloud computing issues by enhancing the level of control over the cloud users. By how? It can be done by providing an appropriate training to the cloud users, which specifically refers to the employees in the accounting field. The training should be done by educating them about the cloud software and educating them on how to protect the confidential information relating to the company's information, employees' information, clients' information from unauthorized users. Other than that, the level of control in the cloud can be improved by ensuring that the servers in the cloud infrastructure need to be audited frequently. Because of what? This is because it is one of the best way to identify data vulnerabilities. The last one to be highlighted on how to ensure that there is appropriate control of the cloud users is by ensuring that there is a limited number of people who can access the confidential information. This is because it is the way to avoid any possible issues of losing the data. According to the third suggestion, why is cloud security and control is important? When it comes to cloud computing, it is always a good idea to double check the cloud storage security. Cloud security and control is necessary to any cloud software to ensure that the data is safe and protected in the cloud. So what kind of data should we protect in the cloud? The mentioned data is referring to the data that has been created, any data that has been collected, or any data that has been received and transmitted. And the most important thing is the client's information. Moreover, it is crucial to have a cloud security in order to protect against unauthorized physical access, both internally and externally. Last but not least, Cloud security is necessary to be ensured since it is one of the best ways to ensure the confidentiality, availability, and integrity of the information. At this level of security, integrity has made sure that the data held in the system is in a proper representation that has been made of the data intended and that it has not been modified by any unauthorized person. When any application is running on a server, the backup routine is ensured so that the data will be saved in the event of the data loss incident. Next, availability in the security point of view ensures that the data processing resources are not made unavailable by malicious action. It is simple to say that when users try to access something, it is available to be accessed. A good cloud security is able to ensure the confidentiality. Confidentiality ensures that the data is not disclosed to unauthorized persons. Confidentiality will be lost when the data can be viewed or read by any individuals who are unauthorized to access it. That's why cloud security and control are very important. The last suggestion that might solve the issue when using the cloud computing is to highly anticipate by investigating the internet connectivity. Because of why we think that this solution is one of the ways to overcome the challenges that will be faced by accounting profession is because we should know that any cloud software is using the internet to perform its function. So we can tell that any actions or any task that we are going to do is relying on the internet performance as a medium of transfer. So back to the recommendation again, to avoid any risk that might occur when performing a certain task, it is much better for us to investigate the speed limitation before moving any data into the cloud. We should be more realistic when using the internet to perform our work. If this method does not come into the consideration, we can tell that there is a possible risk that the data might be lost and hence it might affect the other accounting's work as well. So that's why a selection of a suitable network providers is important because we should get the information of what would be the coverage of the internet uh, in the area, and it is necessary to monitor the load balancing or monitor the network load balancing before performing any necessary action or any necessary task such as data transfer to the cloud. In conclusion, we can tell that emerging technologies such as cloud computing have brought changes to the accounting profession, especially in the way it works. So previously, we know that accountant or any accounting profession are using a hard drive to store all the data, which might be risky of losing all the confidential information related to the customers, and even the way accounting profession works before using the cloud. We can tell that it is requiring a high complexity in handling the client's data due to the sharing of information between the department itself and to share the information with other departments as well. So the introduction of cloud computing has resulted in the enhancements of the accounting process. By now we can tell that employees can access the information with the authorization given to them to complete their work more quickly than before. So we should know that if there is an application made by the firm to use the cloud software, it is necessary for the accounting profession to develop new skills and expertise to cope with the changes. And as the technologies is widely used in all aspects of work, especially in accounting, therefore there should be a new skill to be developed. And we can tell that an up-to-date accountant must be familiar with the software tools to help them to perform better and to perform the accounting functions more effectively and efficiently. Instead of that, even cloud computing has brought benefits and opportunities, but after all, security is matter the most. Accounting profession should understand and acknowledge the necessity of data protection and data security in the cloud, and that's why we would say that in the new emerging technologies, efficient working capabilities and data protection controls are crucial to ensure that the ongoing safe and secure use of private data is to be ensured while minimizing exposure risk. And that's all from us. Thank you.